Man, oh man, do I love the smell of crypto in the morning. Bitcoin over $23,000. Oh my, all new, all-time highs. That is impressive. And if you want to get even bigger with the news, the IMF says a universal central bank digital currency could reshape the future of global payments. That sounds like a global stable coin to me. Roll that beautiful intro.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove at the top of the screen and everything that we're talking about here today. Let's go ahead and get into this. Shout out to Michael Val 5 Links, Bond Crypt. Shout out to 5.5 Maestro. Shout out to DJ Peter Vass and Michael Val 5 Links and XRP Crypto Wolf and everybody who sends information. I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. And I know I forgot a couple of you, but thank you all. Bitcoin has touched $23,777 on Bitstamp, which is currently an all-time high value. With it, the cryptocurrency completes a massive 560% ROI, return on investment, since the lows we saw back in March. Whoo-wee! Let's just take a look at the beauty. Let's just take a look at it. And there it is, 23,141 right now, up 16.81% this morning. That's where we're at. That is exciting to me. I tell you, I'm not a maxi. I know I've had to talk about some of the downside of Bitcoin, but Bitcoin has a place. And if you don't see it, you're never going to. People believe in it, and that's all they need. If enough people out here right now say it's nighttime, it won't matter that it's daytime. That's the way the world's been working lately, and that's the way it's going to keep going. And right now, it's a store of value at $23,141, and I don't think it stops there. So let's keep this going, because this is what's driving that in my eyes, where I see it. And it's fund managers, right? It's institutional money moving into this space. You're not seeing retail money move the needle like this. Sorry, that dog don't hunt. But it's good news to me, because the institutional money coming into this space means to them that it truly is a place that I can invest in without the risk of some kind of regulatory flaw or something oversight that's missed, and then it causes me and my fund, right, and the institution to lose greatly. They're not seeing it that way. In fact, they're seeing it quite the opposite. And to that point, Bitcoin whale emerges with $1 billion Alan Howard's backing, and it goes through and talks about this, and basically from One River Asset Management, and they're talking about the idea that the One River Digital Asset Management has commitments that will bring its holdings of Bitcoin and Ether to about $1 billion as early as 2021. This is the proof of what I'm saying. The institutions moving their money into this space, and they have been doing it and planning it for years. The article talks about how they set up a separate company years ago to be able to start making that acquisition of Bitcoin to get it all where they need it to be. And you know what? This is what we've talked about in months or years past, about the idea that these banks and institutions would create individual separate LLC holding companies to be able to gather these assets to where they're not on the books of the actual company until they're prepared to. Excuse me. So big things are coming, and I don't think it stops like, oh, and that was the last one, now it'll level out. No, it's just getting started, so that's amazing. Now, here's some news out of Malta from Bond Crypt here. Malta's blockchain island strategy falters as bank refuse to play ball. The banks must be convinced that this is something that can really happen. Unless banks are on board, it will be very difficult. Now, Malta has been operating outside of the realm of the world's recommendations and guidelines broadly, right? Let's know that much. And I think the big news here is regulation. You want banks to play along? They're not going to go out onto the fringe of the what is considered to be like a dark web, Silk Road kind of vibe. That's not where banks live, right? You know, they actually commit their fraud within inside the regulatory framework. And it's true. We just read articles a few months ago about how J.P. Morgan and Wells Fargo and all these had so much fraud going on. It was, I don't know if it was billions or trillion. I think it was actually over $1 trillion, but if my memory serves me correctly. But, this is what the banks want to see. The banks want to see regulations implemented globally with the U.S. 6 to 8 weeks. Brexit imminent, end of December. UK will leave the EU without a deal. January and February, experts say that the stock market will crash. Jeff Bezos sold $3 billion of Amazon stock just a month or two ago. The U.S. Treasury was just hacked. CBDCs rolling out globally like there's no time to lose. More on that in a second. The Federal Reserve printing more money like there's no end, that's for sure, and that's not ending anytime soon that we're aware of. And mainstream media won't tell you anything. Look at the signs, not far to go. Buckle up, people. I think he's right. Here's even more evidence of that. It's not that sexy, but you know what? The IRS is setting a trap for Bitcoin and virtual currency investors on 2020 tax form. You better check yes. If you receive, sold, buy, send, or exchanged, or otherwise acquired any financial interest in any virtual currency, you better check yes. That's my recommendation for today. That is advice, okay? You don't have to take it, but that is the only advice I'm prepared to give on the channel ever. If you bought it, sold it, whatever, you better check yes. I've done that. I'm telling you, I don't want any problems. And if you haven't, and even if you're confused about what to do, reach out to Clinton Donnelly in the description box and comment section. He has plenty of offerings to help each and every one of us. So make sure you check that out. Taxes are a very real thing. If you want a legitimate market, you better be prepared. So here we go. So now this really just starts to lift the idea where we're going with Ripple and XRP here. This is on Euro Exim Bank. Okay. Ripple partner Euro Exim Bank develops XRP cloud-based trading platform known as SimpleX. According to the bank, the XRP ledger and XRP have the potential to support global financial network. Whoa. Well, this just really gets exciting. Now, we happened to speak to Graham Bryce from Euro Exim Bank when we were at Singapore in 2019, and we did get him on film for the documentary Cryptonaires. I'm very excited about that documentary. We're getting closer and closer and closer. We're in the final stages. We're headed into the B-roll, which means the storyline is complete. It is in place, and Mike Jansen is in the process of putting like that imagery through the film, and then we'll do music placement. And we should be end credits, starting credits, and we're there. So it's very exciting. So, but this is very exciting here as well, because what we see is we see that Euro Exim Bank, which is a smaller bank that does trade finance, really poised because of the technology to make a much larger footprint as their business grows because of what they've put in place here, because of the potential to support a global financial network. And that is a fact, Jack. That's what the Universal XRP Ledger is designed to do, right? Then we see a long devout American Express Ripple partner takes stakes in crypto trading platform Falcon X. Paxos raises $142 million. Trading as principal, Falcon X provides institutional clients the ability to access cryptocurrency markets through a single platform for trading credit and clearing. This is exciting. Again, what I tell you, when you're in a market that's this new, this early, you start to see these waves of growth that happen where you see these acquisitions, partnerships, and mergers. This is evidence of this right here. This is absolutely fantastic to see, I think. So now, then we come on to this. Now, Ripple to offer banks a tool set for implementing central bank digital currencies. Tool set, which includes the XRP ledger, Interledger Protocol. PayString will enable a CBDC project to study technical, functional, and operational outcomes on platforms used in live payments today. Now, what do you suppose they're doing that for? Well, I think the simple answer is central banks are going to use the ledger for this, right? What did Brad Garlinghouse tell us? We do know that central banks are looking to issue central bank digital currencies on the XRP Ledger open source technology. What did we hear from Miguel Villas in the exclusive interview conversation I just had with him and put out? And I'm going to release that whole interview, by the way, in a newsletter. If you haven't joined my newsletter, it's in the description box and comment section. It's an incredible conversation with Miguel. Sign up for that newsletter. It's going out this weekend. So make sure you get on that. It's not a monthly newsletter, so I'm not going to kill you every month with it. But when it's pertinent, I'm going to send out some really great information to you guys, and you will get some of that information exclusively first, and you will this weekend. So looking at this, this is obvious evidence that supports Brad Garlinghouse's statements. And remember, he said looking to issue the CBDCs on the XRP Ledger open source technology. He went on to say, some of those central banks contact us to get our help, and then some don't have to because it's open source ledger technology. They can just go ahead and build whatever they want, right? Like you and I could if you know how to do it. So that tells me we are headed in that place. Companies don't offer services and tool sets for things that aren't happening. Like, for instance, I can't go down to a construction company, right, and ask them for carpet. Right, because they're like, well, what? Wait a minute, I'm not doing that. Right, it's not what we do. We're actually just building and like land developer, right? And you go and ask them for carpet, right? It's like, well, no, that isn't going to work. Ripple here is offering this because it's a service they provide, because it's what everyone's looking to do, and that's where we're going. And we're about to see more evidence to support that. Not the best analogy for me today on that one, by the way. You can beat me up in the comments. IMF says a universally accepted central bank digital currency could radically transform the status quo of the global payments and financial system. What? Yeah. I'm going to read that one more time. The IMF says a universally accepted central bank digital currency could radically transform the status quo of global payments and the financial system. Well, what they're talking about here is what we've caught a lot of trash about on this channel, which is the idea of a global stable coin, a GSC. That's right. Recently, the idea of a universal CBDC has also gained prominence. A synthetic hegemonic currency, as Mark Carney has said last year, backed by a basket of central bank digital currencies, could provide more efficient domestic and cross-border payment services, benefiting the credibility of multiple central banks that support it. Such an architecture could change the demand for reserves denominated in currencies in the basket based on their relative weight. And then it talks about how Diem, which used to be Libra, Facebook's stable coin, as a private to create a stable coin that could be a GSC backed by a basket of fiat assets. But we know that that's not the case today. The case for Diem, right, Facebook's coin, is that it's literally a stable coin pegged to the US dollar. That's what it's been reduced to. But the idea doesn't go away, because you could technically do what Mark Carney is, and that's what they described here. Mark Carney talked about the idea that central banks around the world could all pony up a certain amount of assets or, reserve fiat, back their own stable coins, and then in doing so, use a central ledger or build a private network on an open source technology like the XRP ledger, and then drive the value of that coin on there collectively. So use a bridge asset like XRP to settle all of that, right? So the story remains to be seen. However, it is pretty obvious to me that we are moving to something new. It does say here, although the paper finds that U.S. dollar dominance is likely to endure, analysts at the IMF say new technologies could have major impact on the structure and movement of reserve currencies at large. Historical precedents of sudden changes suggest that new developments, such as the emergence of digital currencies and new payments ecosystems, could accelerate the transition to a new landscape of reserve currencies. Now, I will say this to wrap this thought here, and the thought is that, when you get to a place like this and you see the IMF leaning in this hard, something is coming, okay? Remember, we're retail speculator investors in this space. They don't owe us anything. I mean, in fact, I feel like they're giving us more here than they normally do, right? So, and it also discusses in this too, global stablecoins do not need to technically be backed by an existing fiat reserve currencies and could themselves attain reserve currency status. It is also conceivable that more than one global stablecoin could become a reserve asset. So there you're talking about the idea of several global coins. It could be XRP coin, it could be XLM, it could be something else, right? So this is getting interesting where we're going, and we know that the dollar's been taking a hit lately. More on that in a second. Right now, let's take a look at XRP's price because we're very happy for Bitcoin, and right now we're at 56 cents. We are up 23.38%. Are you kidding me? Who's upset about that? Not this guy. Not this guy. I am happy as all get out right there. 56.73. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, so there's our price this morning. I know the page wants to load slow. I have more tabs open than you can even think. But look at this. Michael Val 5 Link shows us the dollar index, and it's currently falling like a manhole cover from the sky, right? And it really is. And when I look at this, I see this and I go, oh, wow. You know, I just had this conversation with Miguel Villas, and we talk about this a lot with Cryptopolis on the show as well, the dollar Dixie, right? The index for the dollar. When we looked at the all-time high, Miguel and I were talking, and we were like, you know what? Actually, if you go back and look at the all-time chart, or not all-time high, but all-time chart, excuse me, what you see is that I think it was back in the last crisis around that time, the dollar actually dropped down into this like 70 range, right? So that is not as low as we could go or have seen it go, but I'll tell you something, you know, it goes to speak to the larger point that Cryptopolis has made many times on this channel, which is that when the dollar is going down, crypto is going up. And how much further it will go down, I don't know. But if they keep printing money, it's guaranteed that over time, it will go down. Now, that's where we're at on this day. It's very exciting. Who knows what we're going to get? Regulations have been creeping out little by little here, and we know that we've got a deadline basically from the OCC that over the next 6 to 8 weeks, according to a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, we're going to have what we need here. And we just saw yesterday that the G7 backed the regulations that they've come up with. I'm expecting the domestic regions like the U.S. and other places to really become more vocal about what's going to take place with digital currencies and how they're seen, how they're treated. And that's nothing but upside for all of us. So that's where we're at. But don't go away just yet, because I have to tell you that there is a special. And if you stuck around, this is a really fun little special going on here. One, is Unstoppable Domains is running a surprise giveaway, which is pretty unique, and it's fun. And basically all you have to do, they're gifting jinglebellrock.crypto to one winner. And all you have to do is write a .crypto or a .zil that you already own in the comments below of this video to qualify to win. If you don't have one already, be sure to get one from the link description or description box or the comment section. There's a link there for you. And Unstoppable Domains will randomly choose one winner from the comments and add jinglebellrock.crypto to that person's Unstoppable account. And I will announce the winner on tomorrow's video. So there you go. Make sure you participate in that. The other thing I wanted to say to you guys is that with the flood of this space coming in, and we know the amount of money that is absolutely coming into this space, think about the picks and shovels. Think about the companies behind the tech. Think about the companies that are about to use the tech and make their business even more scalable, more efficient, right? So this is an important point, because I've told you guys that we just finished the Global Investor Conference, the GIC, with Link2. If you haven't signed up for Link2, please do it now. First of all, they've had a slight change in the accredited investor requirements, which have loosened softly. They've softened a little, right? And aside from that, you don't have to be an accredited investor to to be a part of the community. And I'm telling you, Tim Draper, Jesse Draper, Nisa Amoyles, right? Miguel Villas, right? Adam Trademan. I mean, there's so many people from around the world and in the VC space and in the actual crypto space. You know, they've had, was it Jesse Powell from Kraken on before? You know, just so many people in that community that you would love to have access to, and to hear what they're saying is just, I don't know. I just feel like, you know, you want to talk about boots on the ground and understand where this space is going, then get in front of the people that have the biggest amount of money to put in this space, and they'll let you know where it's going. That's what excites me about it. So make sure you check that out as well. All right, that's going to do it for me. We're up 23.38% today. That is outstanding. I just love it. 23.56 now. I love it. We're going to keep an eye on it, and I'll catch all of you on the next one.